So, all right, today we're watching videos, and I have one I want to watch, which is about Dan Bilzerian.
In desperate need of a purpose and a place to go, he did what any affluent dickhead would do and became a business major, using his disability money towards enrolling at the University of Florida, joining a frat, and of course, falling in love with the game of poker.
Who doesn't in college think they make big money in poker? I don't know if I've told this story. When I was in Korea in college, and while I was there, I was broke and I got into poker. Gambling in casinos is actually illegal in Korea. They don't allow it. There's no like casino you can just walk into, but it's allowed for foreigners. So non-Koreans, if you have your passport, can go to these casinos. And so I would go to this casino called the Lucky 7 Casino, but what they had was gigantic wall-to-wall posters of Robert De Niro that they did not pay him for. So every time you'd walk up to the Lucky 7 Casino, because it was only marketed to non-Koreans, it would just be like Robert De Niro, like badly photoshopped, holding like Lucky 7 Casino cards. And it was like, obviously he had gotten no part of this. So I just remember I always look up at Robert, Bobby D, good luck, give him the kiss. And I would go inside and I would play poker. And again, this is like the softest possible poker game you can imagine. There's no sharks. It's a real easy game. And by the way, I would like read poker books all day. I would read on my phone or I would read a book and I'm like, all right, I'm ready. Time to crush this stakes. Then I would show up, give my love to Robert De Niro, and then I would lose. Almost never did I win. So I figured out really quickly that I'm one of the people that'll tell you, most people lose at poker, but they all lie and say like, oh yeah, I was up. Yeah, I paid my tuition with poker. Everyone says that. Everyone's the same fucking story. But the truth is, most of you didn't. All right, I'll tell you, I lost more than I won. But what I did figure out, I didn't grind poker to get better at poker. I realized the Lucky 7 Casino actually had pretty fucking dope perks. And because I was broke as a joke and the food at my dorm was terrible, I would show up basically for dinner, almost like a buffet every night. And I would sit there and I would play very slowly. Like I would fold almost every hand and I would order like, you could get like a hot fudge sundae. You could get like a sandwich and a hot fudge sundae and like a drink. And I would just mac on it while folding. And I would drink the beer and I would eat my sundae. And it was fucking dope. I would always end up super full, feeling great. And then after folding for an hour, I would take my chips and leave. And then I would be done. And I did that every day. I did that almost every day. And they never, I think maybe they wanted to tell me off at one point, but they were too polite or what, I don't know. And eventually, what I did do was one day they had a tournament and I entered the tournament and right on the first hand, I got pocket aces. And the tournament had a lot more players than usual. So they didn't know that I'm the fucking tightest player in the world. And so right on the very first hand of the tournament, I got pocket aces and I went all in. And like 3 people all went all in with me right at the start. And so right off the first hand, I like quadrupled up. I had the biggest stack by far. And then I just played super fucking safe. I made it to the final table, which is like 6 people. And for some miracle, I won. I think the luckiest day of my life, I played dog shit poker. I remember I was so nervous in the final table, but I did win. I won one tournament in probably like 6 months of going to that casino. And because I won it, I won the most amount of money I'd ever had. And because of that, I was able to go to Japan, where Ari was at the same time doing an internship. But I couldn't afford a flight from Seoul to Tokyo. I could only afford a flight from Seoul to Kyoto, which was cheaper, and then a night bus from Kyoto to Tokyo. And so I remember I flew into fucking Kyoto at like 1 a.m. And I've told this, but I was sitting outside on the street of Kyoto. It was dark. And I was watching poker videos on my laptop. And a Japanese security guard with a flashlight shooed me away. And so I had to like get up. Like I had to fucking stand up with my laptop. And I had to go to this 7-Eleven. And I couldn't sit outside because it was loitering. So they wouldn't allow me. And I couldn't stay too long in the 7-Eleven, the Family Mart, without buying something. So I would just walk in and browse the whole thing until the guy got like angry at me. And then I would go outside and I would wait like 15, 20 minutes until I was in trouble there. And then I would go back into 7-Eleven, and that's what I did for like 3 hours from midnight to 3 a.m. until my night bus arrived. At which point, I got on the night bus until we got to Tokyo. At which point, I realized I don't even really know Ari's address, and my phone has no service here. So I had to like describe it. And so I showed up dramatically late, and she wasn't even there. And so I didn't even know if I was in the right spot. So I'm just knocking on different doors of this Japanese like apartment complex. This whole trip was like a real low point for me. And I was like, dude, I could have just saved this $800. I could have saved this money, still been in Korea, and had a blast. I could have been partying this whole time. And then, so Ari finally gets home, thank God, and finds me, and I go inside. But, you know, Japanese apartments are not big. She was in a tiny studio with one small, tiny bed on the floor. I can't sleep like that, bro. Like that, that was so uncomfortable. And so what I ended up getting, I was only there for like a weekend. I mean, not very long at all. What I ended up getting on the last night was a capsule hotel. It's like, that is your hotel room, is this pod. And so I got a capsule hotel. The only thing that was weird was the showers are communal. The average person that uses one of these in Tokyo is like a businessman who stayed late at the office and hasn't gone home yet. And so I was not that. I'll just say I was the only white guy there, and I was the only like young person there. And I remember I go into the public shower, and it's just it's just like 80 old naked Japanese men. And they're all just kind of looking at me because I do stick out like a sore thumb. And so it was an experience. What I will say is that's an experience you probably don't expect to get. And I'm glad I got it, you know? I put that on the bucket list, you know? What? Don't question mark that. You ever wanted to walk into the room and have the biggest dick there and have it be proven? Oh, I'm sorry. Maybe you guys can't relate, but I can. I went on another night bus back to Kyoto, and I flew back to Korea, and I was $800 poorer, but I spent some time with Ari, and it all adds up. It worked out. Now let's finish Dan Bilzerian's video. Sorry, I was a little sidetracked.